swear to interpret from Spanish to English, English to Spanish, the testimonies you will receive today?
I do, to the best of my ability. Flavia Rodriguez, a certified court interpreter.
And could I have the state and public defender place their appearances on the record, please?
Elaine Fusco, State Attorney's Office.
Pedro Mato, Public Defender.
Thank you. Sir, good morning. Please tell me your name.
Jonathan Josue Pagan Blanco.
Sir, you were here in case number 20 CF 8727. You were arrested for trafficking in heroin greater than 4 grams, less than 14 grams. Possession of heroin with intent to sell or deliver. Sale and delivery of heroin. Possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. And possession of drug paraphernalia. I find probable cause in counts 1, 2, 4, and 5. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard as to count 3?
Just a moment, Your Honor. So for count 3 for the heroin weighed 7 grams, and there was a presumptive positive.
So the charge for count 3 is sale and delivery of heroin, and I don't see any facts that establish that he sold or delivered heroin. He possessed it allegedly, but he didn't sell or deliver it.
There was in the next to the last paragraph on the first page, Santana willingly spoke, advised the heroin located in the ice cream cup was his, and he purchased it from Blanco for $10 per bag.
Okay.
So that would be the sale and delivery.
It would not. That he purchased it?
No, Santana, it's a different person, was in the car, and he said that he had just purchased it from the defendant. It's the next to the last paragraph on the affidavit on the main page.
Yep, I see it. Okay, you're right. You are right. Okay, so there's probable cause for all of the counts. Bond on count 1 is going to be $50,000. Bond on count 2 will be $150,000. Bond on count 3, $150,000. Bond on count 4, $150,000. Bond on count 5, $100,000. Sir, you're not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. And then I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 7901. Bond will be set at none. Thank you, sir. 50,000. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Juan Perez Hams.
Sir, this is case number 20MM5276. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Sir, do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No.
All right, Mr. Perez-Hams, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you, sir. And Madam Interpreter, that's all the Spanish cases we have this morning. Thank you for your help.
You're very welcome, Your Honor. Have a good morning.
You too.
Morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Mikael Anthony Abrams.
Mr. Abrams, this is 20 CF 8728. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, domestic violence, and battery. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things if you need to, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $100. Mr. Abrams, do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am. What is the total of, like, how much would I be paying for those bond amounts today?
Well, I can't say for sure. That's something you'll have to ask the bondsman, but your total bond amount is $1,100.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Zimieski, your case is next.
Thank you, Judge.
Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Brown Jr.
Mr. Brown, this is 20 CF 8411. I do have your attorney present in the courtroom. If you would just place your appearance on the record.
Thank you, Judge. Judge Michael Zimieski on behalf of Mr. Brown.
All right. Mr. Brown, you were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for aggravated battery. Mr. Zimieski, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
Judge, Mr. Brown had contacted me yesterday. He did turn himself in last evening. He does have substantial ties to the community, and he is employed. We would just ask the court to set a reasonable bond in this matter. I did speak with him earlier this morning. There's no issue with any contact with the alleged victim. In fact, in speaking with him, there's no issue with that whatsoever.
Okay. So given the fact that she's not here, I'm going to order this morning, Mr. Brown, that you are not to have any contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence. Mr. Brown, do you need to return to get any belongings?
I
No,
never
Judge,
stayed with them.
they haven't lived together or anything to that extent.
Okay. So no contact, and then you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir.
Okay.
Does Mr. Brown qualify for pretrial? Yes. All right. I'm going to place Mr. Brown on pretrial release.
Thank you, Judge.
At this time. Mr. Brown, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. Have a great morning.
You too. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Good morning, Tahari Henry.
Ms. Henry, you're here in 20 CF 8726. You were arrested for aggravated battery. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things if needed. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Ms. Henry, do you have any questions about the no contact order?
It is my husband, ma'am. We live together. He was actually up here yesterday. We have children and all together, and it wasn't anything physical.
So,
But-
Ms. Henry, I just want to stop you for a second, okay? I don't want you to talk to me about the facts of your case. Is there a witness here for Ms. Henry? No, ma'am. Okay. So, Ms. Henry, your husband is not here today. And so the order that I've entered is going to stand. Your lawyer can file a motion to have that modified.
Okay.
But As of today, you're not to have any contact with him, and you can't stay at the house if he's there.
Okay, yes, ma'am, that's no problem.
Okay, how old are your kids?
They are 9 and 6.
9 and 6?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there a third party that could help facilitate contact with the children until you can see if the order can be modified?
Yes, ma'am.
Who would that be, ma'am?
My brother, he's already aware.
Okay. What's your brother's name?
Louis O'Neill.
What's Lewis's last name?
O'Neill.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's just hard to hear because we have the masks on.
O'Neill, Oneal.
O'Neill.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am. I'm going to put that in the order that you may have contact with your children through Louis O'Neill, that he can help facilitate the contact with your children. Like I said, your lawyer can file a motion to have this modified at a later date.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay? And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. You'll be released a little later today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Wendy Nessie.
Mr. Nelsie, this is 20 CF 8693. You were arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. If you need to return to the house one time with the police to get your things, sir, you may do so. Does Mr. Nielsen qualify for pretrial? He what? He needs to be interviewed. Okay. I'm going to set bond at $500 or pretrial release if you qualify. I would like the pretrial to be primary, so he could be interviewed for that first. Okay. Mr. Nielsen, do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
What you say?
Do you have any questions, sir?
Have any questions? Yeah, I have a question. I got the police take my wallet and the police take my wallet and everything in my pocket, so I got money on my card, so I can pay today.
Okay, sir, I'm going to have them come interview you for pretrial release. You may qualify for that program.
My English is not good. I always ask.
I didn't hear you, sir.
Go ahead.
No, you were speaking. I didn't understand what you said.
I asked for Haitian Creole, so my English is not good.
I asked for Creole. His English is. He was asking for Creole. So
Do we need an interpreter then? Okay, we'll have to reset your case, Mr. Nielsen. Sure. Keep Mr. Nielsen nearby. We're going to go ahead and call them now.
Yes, Your Honor.
But I can take this gentleman. That's fine. Good morning, sir. Tell me your name, please.
James Walker.
Mr. Walker, this is 20 CF 8541. You were arrested for robbery and battery pursuant to a probable cause warrant. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement to get your things if needed. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Bond on count 2 is $500. Mr. Walker, do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, I think the clerk had the records. He's on federal probation also.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
He has an open thing.
I don't have that. I don't have a FAD sheet. but I still don't have whatever open case he may have. Thank you.
Yeah, that's probation. But they didn't violate.
Okay. So it's not an open case. An affidavit was issued, or, there was a warrant issued back in 2014 on the case number that I was provided, 14 CF 10778. An affidavit to issue the warrant was filed back in August of 2014. The capias was issued that same day, and information was filed in December of that year.
On a different
and I don't see that the capias
30
has ever been
days.
served on him. So, that, I'm not gonna take any action on that case today.
What's the case number?
14 CF 10778. So that capias would need to be served, and he would need to come back tomorrow, or they can serve him today. But either way, I don't have anything to do on that today because the capias has not been served.
If you didn't involve in condition, that's all.
No problem. 2,500, 500, and then no contact. Maintain one-time return, no one. All right, Mr. Walker, do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered, sir?
No, ma'am. You said 2,500 and 500?
And 500, right, but there's an active capias for a 2014 case that they're probably gonna serve you with, and that you're gonna have to come back to first appearance tomorrow.
What is that?
It's a delivery of cocaine. It alleges that on May 23rd of 2013, that you delivered cocaine. That's the only information that I have, sir. Listen, I don't have any information. You're gonna have to talk to your lawyer about that. But
No.
I'm just letting you know that that's a warrant that's active, or that's gonna be served on you.
That's what I'm saying. I served my time for that. I did prison time for that already. I've done prison time for that on that case already.
And Mr. Walker, that may be true. I just don't have that information. It says that you're on federal probation. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you get in touch with your federal probation officer about that maybe, or talk to the public defender? Because all I have is, it may be that's the warrant's just never been cleared.
Yeah, she was
it's from
there.
2014?
She was there with me when I was arrested. She was.
Right,
there.
I read that.
Yeah, so I know I don't have any types of other warrants because we do a monthly checkup. So I don't see how
Right.
that could be showing. So will I be able to post my bonds on these today?
No, because they're gonna have the hold. So what I'm gonna do,
Huh?
when did you get out of prison?
I got out of prison 2018. I got sentenced.
Okay.
I got sentenced on the for the sales and delivery with my gun charge, and they ran it all concurrent. They ran it together, and I went and did all my time in federal prison.
Right.
So and I've been out. I got out 2018. So I all those cases were ran together.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying. It seems odd to me that you wouldn't have had the hold upon release from prison. So I'm gonna have my office reach out to the probation officer and see if there's any information about that, to see regarding the hold.
Okay, so once I leave here, can I call my family to have them to post these bonds or no?
Yes. I just don't know that you'll be released until this warrant issue is cleared up.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't know. My probation never told me about any warrant, and I see her every month. So, I mean, the first time that I got a warrant, which was yesterday, I was arrested. She came to my house and arrested me. So I know if I would have had a warrant before, she would have did the same thing she did yesterday. She would have arrested me.
Mr. Walker, what is the name of your probation officer?
I can't even call her name right now because they just changed me to her last month. I can't even call her name out. I have it logged on my phone. Yeah, I have it in my phone. I don't know her name because they had just changed her to me. I had just got assigned a new probation officer. But I do know that sales and delivery, I did prison time for that.
Mr. Walker, where do you go to check in for your probation?
It's near downtown. It's near the downtown courthouse.
The federal courthouse?
Yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Walker, I'm going to bring you back this afternoon or then the second session, okay? To see if I have some more information for you.
Okay.
All right. But do you have any questions about any of the conditions or anything that's been ordered today?
No, ma'am. So I can go ahead and post these bonds, though, right?
You can post them, yes. Okay, thank you. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Wendy Nercy.
The Creole, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you. Did I take that back from you? Mr. Nielsen. Oh, I don't really.
It's on a language line.
Oh, you have to follow.
Sorry, that's okay. They didn't have anybody to this afternoon.
Oh, you call it our. Okay. Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to go ahead and call the case back. This is 20 CF 8693. Good morning, Mr. Nielsen.
Morning.
Bonjour, Madame Nancy.
How are you?
Mr. Nielsen, you were arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person.
Monsieur, t'es arrêté parce que t'es frappé sur mon qui est enceinte.
I have appointed the public defender to represent you.
Moi, by défendre public la représentation.
Your bond is set at $500
Ou bien pour payer ban pour $500.
or pretrial release if you qualify.
Ou bien pre-trial release si que ou qualifié.
You are not to have any contact with the victim.
Pas garder contact avec victime là.
You are to maintain a separate residence.
Ou bien pour être pas arrêter même côté avec elle.
You can return one time with the police to get your things.
Ou bien pour retourner une fois avec la police pour aller prendre affaire.
And you are not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Et ou pas garder aucun arme ou aucun bagage qui a utilisé pour faire le mal.
Do you have any questions, sir?
Est-ce qu'il y a une question, monsieur?
Oui. Oui.
Yes.
What's your question?
Question rien.
Je dis comme ça, je ne peux pas même côté avec dame, même côté avec mon qui est victime. Non, mais mademoiselle enceinte, il y a 8 mois enceinte, so il n'y a pas de monde qui peut aider. So, elle fin fait petit monde dans le pas de travail, so qui monde qui peut aider le payer bill là.
She's 8 months pregnant, and after she gives birth, she have no one to help her who's going to help her pay bills if I can stay there.
I don't know, sir. I can't help you with that today.
Par contre, monsieur, je vais répondre ça jeudi.
Je dis que je paye $500, je paye tout $500, mais je ne paye tout $500 qui j'ai me faire.
They said I have to pay $500, but I don't have the whole $500 to pay. What should I do?
You'll need to talk to your lawyer about that, sir.
Je peux parler avec un avocat de ça.
Qui l'est?
Thank you.
Qui l'est?
When?
I can't answer that for you, sir. You have to call the number and see when they can come see you.
So, je ne paye un avocat, so je ne paye un avocat.
I don't have a lawyer.
I just appointed the public defender to represent you. Yes, you do.
Okay.
Mr. Nelson.
Si je paye tout $500, parce que il aime la caille.
Mr. Nelson.
If I pay the $500, when would I go home?
Once you pay your bond, you'll be released.
Si vous payez comme $500, il y a pas go.
Ah ben, j'ai l'argent dans la bouche moi, mais la police a été pour une bouche moi, je ne sais pas lié, so l'argent dans la bouche lié.
I have my money in my wallet. The police took my wallet.
Again, sir, those are things you're going to have to talk with your lawyer about or your family about.
On peut parler des avocats là avec ça. Avocat que. Ou bien famille. Merci.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, there's not.
All right, thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Justin Davis.
Mr. Davis, this is 20MM 5278. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count one will be $1,000.
Yeah, I don't have anybody or any way to bond out.
And then 20 CF 4254, I'm revoking that bond. That will be set at none. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
What'd she say?
You'll have to have your lawyer file a bond motion on your other case that you have that's pending. Good morning. Your name?
Ewing.
Miss Ewing, you're here in 20 MM 5256. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You may have a one-time return with law enforcement if you need it. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Your bond is $1,000. I'm also revoking your pretrial release in 20 MM 5033. That'll be set at none, ma'am.
So do I get back out on PTR?
No, ma'am, you do not. You need to have your lawyer file a bond motion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Al Pacino June.
Mr. June, this is 20 MM 5269. You were arrested for violation of a domestic injunction. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. There's no probable cause for violation of a domestic injunction. It's the wrong charge, Ms. Fusco. They should have arrested him for violation of a pretrial release condition under 903-0471.
Can we get 24 hours to supplement, Your Honor?
Yes. Mr. June, I'm going to set your bond in that case at $2,500. I'll give the state 24 hours to provide an affidavit with the correct statute number. If they're not able to do that, you'll be released on your own recognizance in that case. Again, you're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. I am revoking the release in 20 MM 5056. That bond will be set at none, sir.
So even if I pay a bond, I won't be getting out. Excuse me, miss.
Yes, sir.
So even if I was to pay the 225, I wouldn't be getting out?
That's right. You'll need to have your lawyer file a bond motion, sir.
My lady didn't want the no contact anyway. She was supposed to be here to tell you guys.
Mr. June.
Listen to me very carefully. It doesn't matter what she wants. What matters is what the order says. And I think it says very clearly in the order that until it is changed in writing by a judge, you have to abide by it. So in the future, I would recall that every time you disobey that order, it is a new criminal offense, sir. So until it is changed in writing, it is in effect.
Okay, so how long till I get out? How long do I have to wait to actually be released?
So like I said, you need to have your lawyer file a bond motion on that first case that you had to see if you can get another bond set. Otherwise, you're going to be here until the case is resolved.
I did.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Michael Kirkland.
Mr. Kirkland, this is 20 MM 5282. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Tell me your name, please.
My name is Crystal Winslet.
Ma'am, you're going to have to speak right into the microphone.
Good morning. My name is Crystal Winslet.
All right. And Miss Winslet, do you want to have contact with Mr. Kirkland?
Yes. It was all just a big misunderstanding.
Okay. So you're not afraid of him?
No, absolutely not.
I just got in an argument with my 13.
That it was.
The son is the victim.
Hold on. Everyone stop talking. Mr. Kirkland, I just want to advise you not to talk about the facts of your case, sir, okay? You'll be able to talk with your lawyer about them at a later date, but everything you say here in the courtroom can be used against you later.
Okay.
Miss Winslet, again, so you don't have any concerns about your safety?
No, it was all just a big misunderstanding.
Okay. Is Noah your son as well?
Yes, he's our son. That's my husband.
Okay. And you don't have any concerns about Noah's safety if I were to allow contact between the
No,
three of you? Okay.
I'm not. There's no concern. He just didn't want to come in this building.
Okay. Ms. Fusco, did you have any questions?
So you're his biological mother?
Yes.
Okay. And I noticed there was a prior battery arrest. Do you know who the victim was in that case?
when.
So you or your son weren't the victim in that case?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
He hasn't been in trouble in a long, long time. And like he said, it was just a big misunderstanding.
So, Your Honor, based on the fact that the son had voiced to the person who was helping him that he was uncomfortable being with his dad and so forth, we would ask for no contact.
What?
Mr. Matos, did you want to be heard?
Yes. Mr. Kirkland, have you ever had any other problems with your son?
No. No.
And the battery charge, was it with your son or your wife at all?
I've never had a battery charge.
Miss Kirkland, if you were to have any other problems with your husband, would you be comfortable enough to call the police?
Absolutely.
Your Honor, this is a family, and families have misunderstandings all the time. The mother is not worried about her safety or the safety of the son, and she's likely to call the police. I would ask for the court to find for no hostile contact at this time.
Are you guys on vacation or do you live here in Florida?
We live in Florida in Ocala, but we were here on vacation.
Got it. Okay. So, Mr. Kirkland, I'm going to order at this time that you are not to have any hostile contact with your wife or your son. Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Okay. You're also not to possess any weapons or firearms.
No problem.
And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
What does that mean?
You'll have to call in and check in with a pretrial release officer until the case has been resolved in court.
Okay.
Okay?
Do I have a
He'll
bond?
be released later this afternoon. Pardon me?
Do I have a bond or anything, or?
No, you won't have to pay any money to get out of the jail. He'll be released on the pretrial release program with the conditions of checking in, and then they're going to monitor the compliance with the no hostile contact order and no weapons and firearms.
Okay.
Okay. And then do I just stay here? Is he?
Yeah, I don't know how long it'll be until they release him, so it's just hard to say.
Okay.
But it'll be sometime later today.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Janine Laborde.
Oh, thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Janine Laborde.
Ma'am, this is 20MM5277. You arrested for battery, dating, violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me your name, please.
Benjamin Pettyhome.
Mr. Pettyhome, do you want to have contact with Miss Laborde?
Yes, ma'am. This was a misunderstanding.
Are you afraid of her?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any concerns about your safety at all if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
No, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Laborde, at this time, you are not to have any hostile contact with Mr. Pettyhome. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you. Any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Your name?
Luis Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, this is 20MM5285. You were arrested for 2 counts of violation of a condition of pretrial release. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in that case, as well as 20MM5280, and you were arrested for battery, domestic violence. There's probable cause in that case as well. Bond will be $500. And in MM5285, bond on count 1 is $500, bond on count 2 is $500. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to abide by all court orders. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. I am revoking the bond in 20 CF 5251. That's going to be set at none, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Orlando Rodriguez.
Sir, you were arrested in 20 MM 5279. You were arrested for battery, dating, violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Your bond, sir, is $500. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Actually, she had not didn't file any charges or anything, and she even wrote a statement that she wasn't going to file any charges.
Right, so that's something that the state attorney will decide at a later date as to whether or not they're going to go forward with the case.
Yes, ma'am. Is there any way that I could get so I don't lose my job at ROR?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Tell me your name.
Kimberly Ruiz.
Ms. Ruiz, this is 20MM5274. You were arrested for battery, domestic violence. There's probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Good morning.
Morning.
Tell me your name.
Candace Taylor.
Miss Taylor, do you want to have contact with Miss Ruiz?
Yes.
Are you afraid of her?
No.
How long have you been in a relationship?
2 years.
You live together?
Yes.
Do you have any concerns about your safety at all if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
No.
All right. Miss Ruiz, at this time I'm going to order that you're not to have any hostile contact with Miss Taylor. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are also not to possess any weapons or firearms, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about anything that I've ordered?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Any questions, ma'am?
No.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Your name?
Michael McDonald.
How about Mr. Ross? He's in the hospital? All right. James Ross? It's a violation of probation, misdemeanor violation of probation?
He
should be here?
Second session, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
He should be on second session.
No problem. Mr. McDonald, you are here, sir, in 20 CT 4458. You were arrested for no valid driver's license. And you also had 20 CT 2477. You failed to appear for arraignment related to driving while license suspended. Your bond on that case is $1,000. Ms. Fusco, were you making any offers on these cases?
Defer to the court, Your Honor.
Mr. McDonald, did you want to resolve these cases today?
Yes.
All right, just give me a second to grab your driving record. All right, Mr. McDonald, you don't have any prior convictions for driving while license suspended, but I need to inform you if you want to enter a plea today that driving while license suspended is an enhanceable offense. So if you get 3 driving while license suspended within 5 years, you will lose your ability to get a driver's license for 5 years. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, so this would be your first strike.
Okay.
All right, looking at your driving record, you don't have very many things to, you have four outstanding tickets that you would need to pay to get your driver's license reinstated.
Yeah.
All right, but I just want to make sure you understand that if you continue to drive without a driver's license and you get convicted of driving with a license suspended, you will lose your ability to get a driver's license for 5 years. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm not going to take any action on that case. Thank you, though. So, Mr. McDonald, if you wanted to enter a plea to both of these cases today, it would be an adjudication of guilt on both, 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days time served, and court costs. Do you want to accept the offer?
Yes. Yes.
Did you read the plea form before court this morning?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights you're giving up?
No, no.
Excuse me?
No.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, but
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
no.
All right, sir, in 20 CT 4458, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You will pay court costs. Those are due by July 21st of 2021. And in 20 CT 2477, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You'll have to pay court costs. Again, will be due by July 21st of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. Thank you, Mr. McDonald.
What was that case number he was out on? Bond on?
20 CF 8120. I think.
No action. Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Anthony Walker.
Mr. Walker, you are here in 20 CT 4459, 20 CT 4462, 20 CT 4463. You were arrested for DUI with a blood alcohol level of 0.15 or higher, driving, reckless driving, and operating without a valid driver's license. There is probable cause, sir. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $500. Your bond on count 2 will be $100. Your bond on count 3 is $100. So you're not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next on the list is Jamie Aguilar, hospital.
Who is it?
Dana Aguilar. Jamie. She have that?
It's a traffic arraignment, Your Honor.
Yeah, but he was in the BOP.
Oh, okay. All right. What about Kelvin Masseline?
Medical, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Masseline. Mr. Matos, do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's a Division 81 case. Pre-trial conference is September 4th at 9 a.m., courtroom 4E.
Brandon Mitchell, medical.
I don't have Mr. Mitchell. Okay. How about Gilbert Martinez.
Come on, Martin.
This is not correct either. I think we talked about this too before, Earlene. Not sure what happened. But this case is another one of those cases where the defendant has not been served with the summons. So it needs to be returned to the state attorney's office for service of the summons. He went to, arraignment was set 7:15 downtown. And, okay. So these that are set downtown are not supposed to be reset for in-jail arraignments until the person has been served. They're supposed to be reset back to the state attorney's office for service. So if we could put that in the court minutes, I'm gonna take no action on this case today. It's not, he cannot be arraigned because he hasn't been served. So the state attorney's office needs to perfect service for this case, Ms. Fusco, before it can be set. Mr. Martinez, the state hasn't served you with a summons on this case yet, so I don't have jurisdiction over it to arraign you on it.
What's the summons?
A summons is a document that requires you to appear before the court on this particular case. This is a petty theft case where
This is a new case or an old one?
it's new, a summons, so it was a case where you were never arrested for it, right? So there must have been some sort of investigation or something that the state attorney's office did, and then they decided to charge you with petty theft. And so they filed an information in a capias, or they never issued a capias. They were supposed to serve you with a summons to come to court, and they haven't done that yet. So I would imagine that while you're here at the Orange County Jail that they would have you served with the summons, but they haven't done it yet. So I don't have any jurisdiction over the case.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Emmanuel Nombre.
Mr. Nombre, I think you're in the same position as Mr. Martinez. Just double check.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Same. So, Mr. Nombre, the state has not served you with a summons in this case to bring you before the court. So today I'm not going to take any action on it. Again, this is a case of petty theft. From June of 2019. From Orlando Paintball. That's what the information says. So once the state of Florida serves you with a summons, you'll be brought back to court, or you'll be directed of where to report if you're not in jail.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Same with Mr. C's. All right. Mr. Is it C's? Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. C's, you're in the same position as the last two gentlemen. The state of Florida needs to serve you with a summons before the court has jurisdiction over your case, so I'm returning this case to the state attorney's office to perfect service. Once you've been served with the summons, you'll be brought back to court here if you're still in the Orange County Jail, or the summons will direct you as to where you need to appear. All right, sir? Thank you.
We'll be on so we'll be on the same page.
The summons? Oh, okay. Before we go. Or right now. All right. Who's up next?
Yadal. He's already released. ROR. Yadal. Robert.
Okay. And then who's next?
Cutler. Medical.
Cutler?
Yes.
Okay, so we just need to enter an order. I think Jill has it there. This is an Otis County case from Seminole County, 19 MM 6962. And in this case, the defendant was arrested on the out-of-county warrant from Seminole County. She'd already entered a plea in this matter and was sentenced to 20 days in jail. She was to turn herself in on July 2nd by 4 p.m. She failed to do so. The judge then issued a warrant for her arrest. She is to be held in the Orange County Jail for 20 days from the date of her arrest, with credit for 4 days time served, which I think is in the order.
Just put all that on there.
Perfect. Thank you. Who's next?
Rojas Melvin is also medical, Your Honor.
All right, and this is an out-of-county status hearing. Mr. Rojas's bond on count 1 is to remain at none. Count 2 is $25,000. Mr. Matos, your office is appointed to that case to assist him in filing a bond motion.
Stephen Schneider is medical.
All right, that's an out-of-county status hearing from Osceola County, and his bond is to remain at none. Again, Mr. Matos, your office is appointed to represent him, to assist him with what he may need in coordinating with Osceola County. And are you Mr. Spencer?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Spencer, at this time, your bonds are to remain the same, which is at none. However, I've appointed the public defender here to see if they can coordinate with Seminole County to see if maybe they can get an offer for you to resolve both of those traffic cases or to file a bond motion. Or actually, your bonds are not at none. I think they're at $2,500. Is that right? On Mr. Spencer?
His bonds are no bond and one is 5,000.
One is no bond and one is 5,000?
2 is no bond, 1 is 5,000.
Okay, so you've got 2 that are at no bond and then 1 that is at 5,000. Those will remain the same. But like I said, I've appointed the PD here to try to help you coordinate with Seminole County to see if you can get to be able to get them resolved. Or to file a motion. Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Ms. Huskar, are you ready on the 33-day motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. 20 CF 5863 Delvis Tavera.
Just 1 second.
It was the add-on.
On July 15th, there was
Good afternoon, your name?
Mike,
What?
John.
Sir, what is your name?
Michael O'Horrell.
Mr. Oro?
Yeah.
Okay. So what about James Ross or Adriana Sopina?
They're coming up later in the docket, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Mr. Oro, you were arrested in 20 MM 182 for trespassing in a structure or a conveyance. There is probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Oro?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court costs, no return to the scene of the trespass at 1900 Adams Drive.
Sir, did you want to accept the offer?
Yes, please.
Did you read the plea form before court this afternoon? Mr. Oro?
What's that?
Pardon?
I don't have any cash. I can't help.
No, I'm asking you if you read the plea form. Do you need help reading the plea form?
I can't read that. I read it like 20 times, 500 times,
Okay.
1,900 times.
So do you have any questions about anything that you read or any of the rights that you're giving up?
Yeah, that's fine. Yesterday and today I get out. I was here for 1 day, 2 days. I'll take the 2 days time served. I'm ready to go.
I understand that. Listen, I understand that you're ready to go. But I just have to ask you a few questions so we can do the plea. So I need you to stay with me, okay?
All right.
Mr. Oro, are you on probation?
I don't believe in prohibition.
Pardon me?
I don't believe in prohibition.
I'm asking you if you're on probation.
No, I'm not on probation.
All right. Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
I'm white.
I can see that. But do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
I'm a U.S. citizen. I was born in Florida.
Okay, sir. Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No.
I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by July 21st of 2021. You're not to return to the scene of the trespass, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Yes, Angel Lewis Reyes. Oh, Angel Lewis Reyes the third.
There you go.
Mr. Reyes, you are here in 20 MM 5286. You were arrested for misuse of 911, resisting officer without violence, 3 counts of sanitary nuisance, and disorderly conduct. There is probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir.
No, I was calling for help because my mom tried to set me up.
I understand, Mr. Reyes. I've appointed the public defender to represent you, and you'll be able to talk with them about your case.
Could I please go home? Could I please go home because I did nothing wrong.
The public defender has made us aware that there might be competency issues that we shouldn't plead today.
I was just calling for help. And I can't read and I'm deaf in my ear. I did nothing bad, but took my medication. That was it. She threw me outside with boxers. I was calling for help. They didn't want to help me, so I called another officer. I did nothing wrong. I'm innocent. I was just...
Mr. Reyes, I understand that. I'm not questioning whether you're innocent or not innocent, okay? I'm just trying to set your bond.
I don't want to get in trouble, please. I called my probation last week doing good. I'm doing okay.
Mr. Reyes,
Please help me. I don't want to go to jail, please.
Mr. Reyes, this is your public defender. We're gonna take care of this. Just calm down for a second.
Okay. I just don't want no problem. Oh, I can't breathe.
You breathe.
Could I please go home?
Just a minute, Mr. Reyes. Mr. Reyes, I'm going to stay your bond on count one at 500. The other bonds will also remain the same at 100. I have added to your out on bond case the condition that you will have random urinalysis testing based upon the facts in your new case.
Please, because I can't afford it.
You'll have to have your lawyer file another motion, sir. Thank you.
What that mean?
No action. I added I added random urinalysis to the out on bond case. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Donald Richard.
Mr. Richard. Sir, you were here in 20 MM 5275. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning.
Yes, ma'am.
There is probable cause, sir. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Richard?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court costs, no return to the scene of the trespass at 6801 Forest City Road.
Mr. Richard, do you want to accept the offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions about any of the rights you're giving?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, I'm not.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, I am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court
Not today, ma'am, no.
Sir, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You're not to return to the scene of the trespass. You'll also have to pay court costs, which are due by July 21st of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Richard.
Thank you, too.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
James Lester Rauterbush Jr.
Mr. Rauterbush, this is 20 MM 5281. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Rauterbush?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court costs, no return to the scene of the trespass.
Mr. Rauterbush, did you want to accept the offer?
Do not. I'm going to plead not guilty.
All right, Mr. Rauterbush. At this time, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. You're not to return to the airport. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you've been trespassed from there, so if you return, you will be arrested.
I understand.
All right, you're going to get a phone number, and a court date when you leave the jail. You need to make sure you appear at that court date. Otherwise, there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest.
All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next on the list is Donald Sweat, mental health.
Mr. Matos, I'm going to appoint your office. Did you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's 20 MM 5273. Mr. Sweat was arrested for petty theft. There is probable cause. The public defender has been appointed. He's not to return to Publix, and I'm going to release him on his own recognizance at this time. Good afternoon. Your name?
Good morning, or good afternoon. Adriana Sapina.
This is one we had passed by. Miss Sopina.
Yes, ma'am.
You are here in 16 CT 1001.
Okay.
You were arrested pursuant to a capias for failing to appear at a violation of probation status hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, did you want to resolve your case today?
I would love to. Can I do pretrial release?
Well, I'm asking you if you want to enter a plea. So if you entered a plea today, the case would be over.
What would be the plea?
It would be an adjudication of guilt. I would revoke and terminate your probation, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served, and you'll have to pay all of your outstanding court costs.
Let's do it.
Okay, did you read the plea form before court
I
this morning?
did.
Did you have any questions about any of the rights on the form?
No, ma'am.
And the allegations in the violation of probation affidavit are that you did not take the substance abuse class and that you failed to keep your appointments with your probation officer.
Okay.
Do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will accept your admission, adjudicate you guilty, revoke and terminate your probation, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served, and you will have to pay all of your outstanding court costs.
And I can make an arrangement when I get out, right, to do that?
I can set that up for you now if you'd like.
Okay.
So how much can you afford to pay per month?
$50 maybe?
Do you want to do 25?
25 would be perfect. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to set you up. You have to pay $25 per month until those court costs are paid off.
And where do I
have
go
those
and pay it
start
at?
At the clerk's office.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's
Downtown.
right.
Can I pay it online? You might want to check on the clerk's website to see if there's a way that you can pay it
Online.
online.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll have to go down there and see how you pay it.
Yes, ma'am.
This is July, August. So I'll have them start September 15th.
Okay.
At a rate of $25 per month.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. September 15th. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
James Ross.
I'm sorry, tell me again.
James Ross.
Mr. Ross, you were here on a violation of probation in 19 CT 6453. You're on probation for driving under the influence. It is alleged that you violated your probation by committing a new law offense of domestic violence battery. You've got technical violations of failing to actively participate in the recommended substance abuse treatment. You haven't paid your cost of supervision. You have not done your 50 hours of community service, and you moved without getting permission from your probation officer. Sir, at this time, your bond on the violation of probation is set at none. You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion in Division 81 regarding the bond with that. Mr. Matos, I'm going to appoint your office. Would you like to enter a denial at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ross, I'm going to give you a court date in Division 80, did I say 80 or 81? 81, which is Judge McGinnis. Your VOP status date is going to be August 24th at 9 a.m., and that's courtroom 4E. Thank you, Mr. Ross. Good afternoon. Your name?
Good morning.
Sir, I couldn't hear you.
Stephen McCarter.
Tell me your name again.
Stephen McCarter.
Mr. McCarter, you're here in 20 MO 769. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There is probable cause. Is there an offer, Ms. Fusco?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, court cost.
Mr. McCarter, did you want to enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read the plea form before court?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up on the plea form?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs, and those are going to be due by July 21st of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Anthony Mosley.
Mr. Mosley, you're here in 20-0770. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There's probable cause. I will appoint, actually, is there an offer for Mr. Mosley?
Yes, Your Honor, adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, court costs.
Mr. Mosley, did you want to enter a plea?
No contest.
Did you read the plea form, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the form?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
None.
All right, sir, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those are going to be due by July 21st of 2021. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mosley.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, your name?
John Paul Charlebois.
Sir, you are here in 20 CF 8722. You were arrested for attaching a tag on a sign, failing to register a motor vehicle, and driving while license suspended,
Yes,
third
ma'am.
or subsequent offense.
Yes, Your Honor.
There is probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is going to be 500. Or I'm sorry, 100. Bond on count 2, 100. Bond on count 3 is 500. You're not to drive without a valid driver's license,
Yes, ma'am.
and I'm not going to revoke your bond at this time.
Okay, good, because I actually have an appointment tomorrow to go ahead and get this all legal out, so.
To take care of your license?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, please do.
Yes, I will.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Michael Chisholm.
Mr. Chisholm, you're here in 20 CF 6017. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for petty theft with 2 prior convictions. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you, sir. You are not to have any contact with the victim. I'm going to release you, sir, on your own recognizance at this time. You need to contact your lawyer, which is the public defender, within 24 hours of your release, sir, and you must appear at all court dates.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Orlando de Jesus.
Sir, this is 20 CF 8732. You were arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are not to return to the scene or possess any weapons or firearms, sir. Your bond is $2,500. Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
It's Bakari Ellis. I mean, Your Honor, can I
Mr.
Can I speak to my
What?
PD?
Well, I just want to inform you that your conversation is not private. So if there's a question you have for him that's confidential, you shouldn't say it here.
It's not confidential, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Matos?
Mr. Edwards, go ahead.
I just want to know, is there any way can I get release on your overconscious or pre-trial release?
So, Mr. Edwards, that's a question for me, and
Yes,
the answer
ma'am.
to that is going to be no, because you're already out on pretrial release, and you were arrested on that case back in March.
Right.
And this is a new case that was allegedly committed in May.
Yeah,
So
that-
the answer to that is going to be no.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond in 20 CF 4615, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant for burglary of a conveyance and grand theft third degree. I'll appoint the public defender in that case as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Bond on count 1 is going to be $150. Bond on count 2 is going to be $1,000. But Mr. Edwards, I am revoking the bond in 20 CF 3972. That bond is going to be set at none. You're going to have your lawyer file a motion with the judge who's assigned to that case to see if they would like to reinstate the bond.
Okay, can I ask one question, ma'am?
Sure.
Why is the bond being revoked? I know that they said I had a warrant for something that I don't want to know nothing about this warrant.
Just give me 1 second and I'll answer that for you. I missed 20 CF 8731. You are also arrested for possession of MDMA, for which there is probable cause. The public defender will be appointed in that case as well, and bond will be $150. So, Mr. Edwards, I revoked your bond because you were already out on pretrial release and you've allegedly committed some new law offenses, and so that is grounds to have your bond revoked. If the judge who's in charge of that case would like to set a bond, they're allowed to do so, but today I'm revoking the bond.
Can you, I mean, on the...
I cannot, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Esposito?
Mr. Esposito, you are here in 20 CF 8724. You were arrested for sexual battery, not likely to cause injury, and false imprisonment. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to return to the scene. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Bond on count 1 is $20,000. Bond on count 2 is $150. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Trevor Harper.
Mr. Harper, this is case number 20 CF 8723. You were arrested for driving while license revoked as a habitual offender. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Your bond is $1,000. I'm not going to revoke your bond at this time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dear.
Morning. Afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are you Miss Hazelwood?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Miss Hazelwood, you were here in 20 CF 8708. You were arrested for possession of cocaine. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Okay.
Your bond is $1,000. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. I'm going to have you randomly tested through pretrial release.
Okay.
And I'm not going to revoke your bond.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Is my bond still $1,000 or am I getting out on pretrial release?
No, ma'am. Your bond is $1,000 plus random urinalysis.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Alvin Henry. Alvin Henry.
Mr. Henry, this is 20 CF 8698. You were arrested for attempted second-degree murder with a firearm and aggravated assault with a firearm. This was pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Ms. Fusco, did you want to be heard with respect to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. The state asked the court to consider all the facts in the affidavit. The defendant pulled a gun on the victim who was attempting to intervene when he was battering others. He fired at least 2 shots at the victim. There was a witness who observed him fire the shots and identified him in a photo lineup. We asked the court to find proof evident or presumption great, and also, as you're using your discretion to determine bond, we'd like to see him held at no bond. He has a prior conviction for robbery with a deadly weapon, and also he was arrested on May 20th for ag assault with a firearm. Thank you.
Mr. Matos?
Your Honor, I would like to reserve this for the attorney downtown and allow this to stay at the court's discretion.
I do not think that the state's met their burden at this time based upon the information contained in the arrest affidavit. One of the witnesses, the eyewitnesses, was not able to ID Mr. Henry. One was. So I don't believe that that rises to beyond, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So Mr. Henry is going to be entitled to bond. Bond on count one is going to be $150,000. Bond on count two will be $150. Mr. Henry, you are not to have any contact with the victims in this case. You are not to return to the scene. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Could we get an order for surrender firearms, Your Honor?
Mr. Henry, if you have, excuse me, Mr. Henry, if you own any firearms, you'll need to surrender those to the police department within 6 hours of your release from the jail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Aldo G. McCallum.
Mr. McCallum, this is 20 CF 8568. You were arrested for battery on a person 65 years of age or older pursuant to a probable cause habeas. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir. And your bond is $1,000. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
He what? He does? I only have one case. Just 1 second, Mr. McCallum. We're good? Okay. You're all set, Mr. McCallum. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Nieves?
Mr. Nieves, you're here in 20 CF 8736. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for trafficking in fentanyl, 4 grams or more, possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 will be $50,000. Bond on count 2, $150,000. Bond on 3 and 4 will also, bond on 3 will be $150,000. Bond on 4 will be $100,000. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. I'm going to revoke the bond in 20 CF 1144. That bond is going to be set at none, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon. Your name?
You Price.
Mr. Price, this is 20 CF 8719. You've got 3 cases, sir. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in all of them.
3 cases?
In this case, you have 3 different, it's one incident, but they wrote up 3 different affidavits. So it turns into 3 cases. Okay? So on the first one, they charged you with burglary of a conveyance and petty theft. There's probable cause for those offenses. Bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Bond on count 2 will be $100. And then 20 CF 8718, you were arrested for robbery. There's probable cause for that offense. Bond will be $1,000. You then have 20 CF 8717, you were again arrested for robbery, set and snatching. There's probable cause for that offense. Bond will be $150. Sir, in either of the cases, or all of the cases, you're not to have any contact with the victims, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you're not to return to the scene. Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name?
Joshua Ross.
Joshua Ross. Is that what you said?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Ross, you were arrested in 20 CF 8740 for DUI with 2 prior convictions, possession of methamphetamine, possession of olazapam, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those offenses. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $2,500. Bond on count 2 and 3, $150. 4, $100. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances or alcohol. And I'm revoking the bond in 20 CF 210. That's going to be set at none. Thank you, sir. How about Venetia Roll?
She bonded, Your Honor.
She bonded, okay. Good afternoon, your name?
Luis Santos.
Mr. Santos, this is 2018 CF 17390. You failed to appear for a probation status hearing on June 8th.
Yes.
At this time, your bond, sir, is set at none. You need to have your lawyer file a bond motion in Division 16.
What does that mean?
Your attorney now, okay?
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, sir. Tell me your name.
Kieran Uter.
Mr. Uter, you are here in 20 CF 8716. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for trafficking in methamphetamines greater than 28 grams, trafficking in cocaine greater than 28, less than 200, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, driving while license suspended, and 2 counts of possession of a prescription drug without a prescription.
I was in the hospital meanwhile all this was going on, ma'am.
So, sir, I'm not saying whether this is true or false. I'm
Yes,
just letting
ma'am.
you know why you were arrested and then gonna set your bonds, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So your bond on count 1 is going to be $25,000. Bond on count 2 is $150. Bond on count 3 is $150. Bond on count 4 will be $100. Bond on count 5, $100. Bond on count 6, $100. Sir, you are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Good afternoon, your name?
Good morning.
Your name?
Robert Wood.
Mr. Wood, sir, you are here in 20 CF 8721. You were arrested for driving while license suspended, third or subsequent offense. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Wood, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You need to make sure you contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release so that you can be updated on your court date.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You also have a child support writ. You're going to be released ROR in that case as well. You're going to receive an order when you are released from the jail that's going to explain to you how to call in for that hearing. The hearing date is August 17th at 11 a.m. If you fail to call in for the hearing as required, there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Encarnacion.
Sir, you are here for a violation of probation in 2 cases, 17 CF 14864 and 18 CT 2159. 2017. Case on probation. 2018. Okay. So on the violation of probation, sir, your bond is set at none. It's alleged that, you committed the new law offense of the driving without a valid driver's license and moving without getting permission. In that case, sir, you will see Judge Whitehead in the next 7 to 10 days. And in 18 CT 2159, where you failed to appear on the driving without a valid driver's license case, your bond is $1,000. And I'll appoint the public defender if they weren't previously appointed. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, your name?
Jeremy Marte.
Mr. Marte, this is an out-of-county warrant out of Hillsborough County related to battery domestic violence. The bond, sir, at this time is set at none. So, Mr. Marte, I'm going to reach out to the judge in Hillsborough County to see what they'd like to set your bond at. And once we receive the response, we will bring you back to court and inform you what the bond is.
How long do you think that process take?
Well, I will email them today,
Yes,
and it just depends on the jurisdiction. Usually it's a day or two,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? But I will bring you back to court as soon as I find out what the response is.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Ms. Razor?
Mr. Racer, this is an out-of-county warrant out of Marion County related to battery. At this time, the bond is set at none, sir. As I just explained to the other gentleman, we'll reach out to Marion County to see how they'd like to modify the bond.
But Marion County is saying that it's up to Orange County to resolve the issue.
Well, I'm not sure where the information's coming from because that's not correct. So the Supreme Court has ordered us during the pandemic to coordinate with the other counties. So it's true that we do have jurisdiction in Orange County at this time to hear this case, but I can't do so until I've spoken with a judge in Marion County. And since I just got the case today, I haven't had an opportunity to do that. So now that I am aware of the case, we can email Marion County and the judge up there to see what they'd like to do. Once I hear back from that jurisdiction, we'll bring you back to court to let you know what they said. In the meantime, the public defender here is appointed to represent you, and they can assist you with your case.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
Jamal White.
Mr. White, this is an out-of-county warrant from Polk County related to a violation of probation for grand theft and for battery. At this time, your bond, sir, is set at none. As I explained to the previous gentleman, we will reach out to Polk County to see if there's any modifications that the judge would like to make. In the meantime, the public defender here in Orange County is appointed to represent you to coordinate with Polk County. And I'm not going to take any action on the Osceola County case.
Okay, because I just want to know, like, I had just got out of jail. I had just got out of jail on the 13th of July. And tomorrow I switched my probation down here. And
Okay.
tomorrow is supposed to be my meetup day. And I never signed my paperwork, so I don't know how I violated.
Okay, I don't either, sir. I wish that I had that information for you, Mr. White. All I just have is the copy of the warrant. That's why I've appointed the public defender here to represent you, even though it's a Polk County case, so that way they can get that information from Polk County and share that with you.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Tell me your name.
Willie Young.
Mr. Young, you are here on a child support writ out of Marion County. Is that the only one? You also have a warrant out of Marion County related to grand theft and title fraud. The bond on both of those counts is $2,000. That's the same one. Marlene, is it just two cases? No.
Can I get them lowered?
I can't just lower that on my own. I have to ask the judge in Marion County, but you also have another case in Marion County, 16 MM 2131, which is a violation of a condition of pretrial release. The bond on that is set at none.
At what?
So and then you have another case, which is 16 CF 712. It's a battery, and the bond on that is set at none. Another one.
So is there any kind of way you can oppose me a bond?
So let me explain to you, Mr. Young, what's going to happen. On your child support case, on all your cases, we will email the judge that's handling these matters for Marion County to see what types of modifications they'd like to make, if any. In the meantime, the public defender here in Orange County has been appointed to represent you on the cases so that they can coordinate with Marion County regarding a potential plea or any potential bond hearings that may need to be filed.
So is no one here that can oppose a bond here? So you're saying that it all have to go through through my county over there as well? Right.
So during the pandemic, the first step that we have to do is we have to get input from Marion County, because this is Orange County and we don't technically have jurisdiction. So the first thing we have to do is to talk to the other county, your home county, to see what their input is. Once we get that information, we'll relay that to you, and then the lawyers have to still do their job, just if they were in Marion County, even though you're here.
So how many days do I have to wait before I can
I don't know. I don't know when they'll have a response, and if they don't choose to set a bond, you'll have to have the lawyers file a bond motion. Thank you, sir. Mr. Walker?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Rucker, let me check my email. So we were able to get in contact with your probation officer. Her name is Nikisha Brenham.
Yes.
Okay, so she's trying to figure it out. The information that I have is she just said that it was confusing and that she needed to ask someone, because the state case she had for you is felony possession of a firearm. So
Yes.
I don't know.
This is what happened, ma'am. I got sentenced to I think it was 18 months for Orange County for the possession of sales and delivery. And then I
Okay.
got sentenced to 4 years federal probation. They ran it concurrent. They ran it together. So I did my state case with my federal.
What was your federal case?
Possession of a firearm.
I see. Okay.
And then I had the sales and delivery, which they gave me. I think it was 18 months, because I had to come back from federal prison to resolve this case. And when I resolved it, they just ran it concurrent with my federal prison sentence.
Huh.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Walker, I'm not saying that that's not true. There's just, for whatever reason, it's not scanned into the clerk system, but your probation officer is aware of it. She's looking into it. Are they going to serve that warrant on him? They will? Why? Okay. So I guess I'm just trying to wonder is like, how long can they have the hold on him to have the warrant served?
Oh, if he,
Because he's,
the post bond on each three charges, he will have that warrant served before he gets out.
got it. Okay. So did you post the bond on your new case, Mr. Walker?
I was trying to, but when I had my family to call the bondsman, they were saying with the hold, it wouldn't allow them to let me post my bond.
I'm sorry. It's so hard.
We can get it there, if I see one downstairs, I can serve it, or we can just call one and have them bring it in the over here.
So Mr. Walker, we can call downstairs and have warrants serve you with the warrant. There's a bond on it. I think the bond's like $7,500 or $7,700. Right. So what'll happen is you will see the judge tomorrow. That's going to be here. I'm going to leave her notes of what happened today to see maybe if she wants to modify that. And then I don't know if we might have more information at the end of the day from your probation officer. That might change that.
But see, the thing about it is, my probation officer, she's not gonna know anything about the state case because that was just ran concurrent.
Ms. Fusco, is there anything in your case management system about the case?
She's trying to explain to me the case.
She has nothing to do with the state case.
Just a minute, Mr. Walker. I do. Hi, Jackie.
She ain't
Good.
know nothing about the state case.
Yeah. Right. No, what he's saying is he's saying he bled to it, but he isn't. Wait, we write this down for me. Sorry. Tell me the case numbers again. 14 CF. 14 CF 10778.
Ain't no trial.
And then 10 CF what? Or I'm sorry, 14 CF 10776. Okay. Okay. So that case is still a case, the one that I have right in front of me. Serve it. Right. Oh my gosh, okay. I bet, oh my gosh, okay. They're on their way to serve him right now. Three counts, but I filed the information unless they only filed on the sale and delivery. I got it. I gotcha. Thank you, Jackie. Okay, appreciate it. Bye. Oh my. Okay. All right, Mr. Walker, give me a second, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Prison sentence that I got
All right, so Mr. Walker, I need you to stick with me and bear with me while I explain to you what happened, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I need you to keep your emotions in check.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, you actually had 2 Orange County cases, right, from 2014. One was 14 CF 10778, which is what I saw you for today. The other one was 14 CF 10776. It was offenses that happened on the same day back on May 23rd of 2013. The officer only turned in one of the warrants. So you're correct. You went to court on the 10776 case. You pled to the charges and you completed that case. However, there's that second case that happened on the same day where there was a second warrant that never got turned in or served. So there is an outstanding case that stems from the very same day for the case that you already went to court for and resolved.
Okay.
So in that warrant that I have, it's a 3-count warrant, but in that warrant, the state only filed an information on the sale and delivery. So there's still 1 count that's left. The officer's coming to turn it in now to serve it on you. So that is an actual case. I can't talk to you about any sort of legal issues that you can raise or what you want to do with that. That's going to be for your lawyer, you and your lawyer to decide how you want to handle that. My job today is to just determine what the release conditions are regarding that case.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand what happened?
So, I guess, but is it a possession or is it a sales and delivery?
It's a sale and delivery from the same day that you already went to court on. So I don't know, maybe he saw you do it twice. I don't know what the facts are. I'm just telling you that's what the charge is.
Okay.
He wrote up 2 warrants for the same day.
Okay.
Okay, for 2 different instances, allegedly. Okay?
Okay. So will I be able to bond out on that today, or will I have to wait till tomorrow?
As soon as they serve it on you, you can be able to post the bond.
So
I don't have that warrant. I can't modify the bond if it hasn't been served, right? But what I can do is I think I can because just on the counts 2 and 3, because an information was only filed as to count 1, so I can ROR counts 2 and counts 3. Huh?
I can no action was taken on them. I mean, if they didn't file on those.
Yeah, right. So if they didn't file on those, so counts 2 and counts 3, and then you just have the count 1. Mr. Walker,
yes, ma'am.
the bond on count 1 will be the bond that you have to pay. It's $7,500. I'm going to leave some notes for the judge that's going to be here tomorrow. I don't know if she'll do anything different on that if you're still here tomorrow, but I'll let her know what happened.
So I have to pay the $7,500 plus the other 2 bonds?
From this morning?
Yeah.
Correct.
And there's no
But
way.
you got to wait for the cop to come serve you this warrant.
Okay, so it's no way that you can R&R me on none of that?
I did. So on the actual warrant, there'll be 3 counts, but the state only filed on 1. So I ROR'd the bottom 2, and just the bond on count 1 is left.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't understand what the other two are.
So when the cop wrote up the warrant, he charged you with 3 different things. Okay? It was sale and delivery, possession of cocaine with intent to sell, and possession of cocaine. So when you turned the warrant in, you had 3 charges, and you had a bond for each of the charges. The state filed an information charging you formally with just 1 count of sale and delivery. So there's only 1 charge for the case.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of, sort of, but not really.
Okay. Well, your lawyer will have to explain it to you better, but instead of 3 charges, you only have 1.
Okay. You say I only have 1, and you saying that you are R&R me on that 1 or no?
No, on the bottom 2. So when the cop saw you do whatever he says he saw you do, he charged you with 3 things.
Yeah.
Okay? Then the state attorney looked at the information and they decided they only wanted to charge you for 1 thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So you've been formally charged with 1 thing. But the warrant still has 3 things on it. So I have taken off the 2 that they didn't charge you with and just left the 1 that you've been charged with.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
You got it?
I understand.
Okay. All right, Mr. Walker. You're all set. All right. Are we done? All right. Court will be in recess.